Hello and welcome to Last Time On. This is the podcast where we pick a prestige television show that none of our hosts have seen. We watch the first episode, we roll some dice based off of our pending algorithm, skip that many episodes, and try to figure out what happened last time on. I'm Xhafer.
I am Ben.
I'm Victor, and you're listening to a podcast that has gone 95 episodes, I think now. 95?
Are we verging 100 episodes?
We're getting close. I counted them earlier because I was going to do a bit. But that has gone over 90 episodes with no commercials because we can't find anyone who wants to sponsor us.
This will be episode 88.
Is it? Are you sure? Because I looked in my podcast feed. And
Mine says we have 87 episodes as of last week.
What?
Okay.
Is that what it actually is? Because you hit see all, and it says 86. And I thought that was not counting what was already on the page, but I guess that makes sense.
We'll be there very soon.
See, 86, yeah. We're definitely more than 80,
Yep.
which is...
Yeah.
Seeing as the average podcast lasts 5 episodes, we're doing good.
This is episode 87. I'm looking at our podcast feed's back end on our host. There are
That's
86
fair.
episodes.
Always looking at the back end.
You're right. You're right in more than one way. And in this case, I'm right because we have 86 episodes uploaded, and this will be the next one to go up. So, 87 episodes.
God, sorry, I didn't
Cheesy
reach.
Pete's.
Didn't reach
Vic,
for that.
we're the sick. I thought, are we all? That's right. You said
I think
you
we're getting there.
feeling
Yeah, because I feel
Okay.
something coming on. So, yeah.
We're all a little under
Ben's
the weather.
recovering. Me and Xhafer are headed for the...
I think mine is just allergies and
It has been awful. Here
the
in Michigan.
aforementioned spending the day at a Star Wars cards tournament, issuing judgment to all nerds. So,
Well, speaking of issuing judgments, today's episode is Billions, Season 2, Episode 7, Victory Lap. And, yeah. So you guys ready to just dive right in?
yeah, we opened the episode on Axe taking the L on getting to open a casino.
Yes.
He's raking some kid in a government office over the coals at like 10 p.m. or I think it's night out.
Well,
when
first
they
pay a visit to Uncle Brew.
Bruno.
Yeah, they call him Uncle Brew a couple times. I figured it was Bruno. And he comes down in his underwear holding a baseball bat.
Yeah, you're showing up at people's houses in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
This is normal.
The man
Right.
who sleeps with a machete next to his bed is a fool every night but one.
Nice. Yeah, so then they go visit. He says it was something to do with his nephew.
Mm-hmm.
So they go visit his nephew at the town courthouse at late at night or crazy late at night, early in the morning. And he's there in his office.
I'm guessing he was told, be here. You have to answer for what happened. Like,
Yeah.
and so he's there waiting for his pantsing. And while he's there, like, knowing it, it's like, and we're collecting this guy's uncle so we can have another person, like, so we're yelling at you in front of, like...
in front of family.
in front of the family, in front of this guy who was our contact.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hall... Go ahead.
This is one of those things where when you are at a certain, like, I know we've all met people like this at, like, the level where you do not deserve it, but Axe is the kind of person who's just like, no, everything's always must be about me, and, like, can't believe, like,
Certain.
I can't be, like, I couldn't have just been screwed out of this deal because somebody else was trying to achieve something else and I was immaterial to their plans. this must have been targeted at me. And it's like, okay, when you're a billionaire, stuff like that happens. But, like, we all also know that person who's like, everybody's always out to screw me. And it's like, you've got $27 in your checking account. No one is thinking about you. Like, I'm sure, like, people are surveilling me and in my phone. It's like, nobody is wasting their time on that.
Yeah. And Hall, the fixer guy, he puts his briefcase down on this kid's desk and then whispers something really intimidating in his ear. And I got to say, this scene right here, I was ready to make a 3-point prediction this episode that Hall is actually just a figment of Bobby's imagination. but in this opening, having two separate people react to him, I'm like, okay, I should make a different prediction. Because this guy, throughout this episode, we'll get to it, but he just pops up everywhere.
Oh,
always
always
wearing the same suit. You know?
Yeah.
Well, now I've got a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Hall, an interesting character. He's a fixer. He's a guy who, like, knows things, learns things, like, has contacts. It's an interesting job being a fixer. Like, you have to have, like, know your way around, be willing to work, in the background behind people. But it's also just, this guy must be getting paid well. Because he is doing so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, my question is, would you rather be a fixer or a goon? Because being a fixer seems more interesting, but it also feels a lot more work than like, hey, Vic, I need you to stand in front of this warehouse until somebody else comes and stands in front of this warehouse.
See, I'm at the point in my life where I don't have the fucking mental bandwidth to deal with shit anymore, so I would much rather be a goon. Like, I don't want to be responsible for crap, dude. Except maybe breaking someone's knees once in a while. that I can do. I don't want to have to go investigate motherfuckers. I don't want to have to dig through emails. No, man. Just tell me where to go and look mean.
I'll hang out here, and then Batman will show up and beat me up, and then I'll go home.
Yeah. The downside is the goons, like, unless I'm like head goon, where I'm in charge of all the little goons. That's good. That I would do. I would not want to be a little goon because they're expendable as fuck,
That reminds me, I was just on a podcast yesterday where we were watching an episode of the 1950s Robin Hood TV show.
Oh, wow.
And there was a character who was the henchman of the lieutenant to the deputy sheriff of Nottingham. And I'm just like, how deep does this bureaucracy go? Like, this guy is deep down the goon hierarchy.
Yeah.
Like,
he's an assistant to the regional manager of the sheriff.
He wasn't even that. Like, oh man, there are levels you have to go. Like, you can't even get in an HR meeting with the deputy sheriff. What about you, Xhafer? Henchman or goon? Or fixer or goon?
Fixer goon? I feel like I've already done some fixing work in my life.
Yeah,
I'm just going to continue in that line of work.
You have the look of a man who has cooked a book or two.
Hey, I have caught people cooking books.
Yes. Actively, we got people fired.
Nice. Well,
more than once at more than one workplace. I should probably put that on my resume at some point.
Yeah.
A LinkedIn endorsement, caught other people cooking the books twice. I'm not an accountant.
Yeah. Well, speaking of cooks, the head chef.
Oh, we see way more of Chef Brian than I was anticipating. Like,
no, that head chef Brian. That's his title now.
This head chef.
Before that, though, we do have football catch.
Yeah.
Where... Oh, right. And the Rhodes is playing catch with his son out in the park when the reporter from episode 1 shows up.
Yeah. The Boyd business is done, so he promised he would go play catch. And, it's with the reporters here, too. He's on his victory lap. So it's safe to assume, based off everything in this episode, we see Boyd in jail later in this episode. It looked like jail, not prison, so I'm guessing it's very, very recent. Yeah, I have to ask, like, we know how it went, but we don't know what the key piece of evidence was. And I'm curious, what's the thing that brought Boyd down? Gentlemen, let's get weird with it.
Let's get weird.
The thing that brought Boyd down.
Yes.
So when we last saw Boyd, he was on his private jet, stooking it to one of his coworkers' wives in the plane. I'm gonna say it must have been FAA regulations. He was engaged in coitus in an unsafe manner while in flight, and they had cigarettes afterwards, and there's no smoking on international flights. That's what he's in jail for.
So I'm gonna say what we actually got was we knew that there were, not only was there hanky-panky in the sky.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Boyd was the kind of guy where he was trying to get it on air, land, and sea.
Okay.
And he's
Fuck the
not
mermaid?
the kind of, like, any rich person can have a mistress visit them on a yacht. He had a side piece submarine. And he did not secure the computers on his side piece submarine.
Oh, no.
And so the software on the side piece submarine was unsecure.
Side piece submarine. Damn. Was it a
Okay.
yellow submarine?
No.
I think he posted what he thought was posting anonymously on Reddit's "Am I the Asshole?" and he went over how his buddy, whose wife he'd been having relations with, having an affair with, that works with him, and he said something about cooking the books there. In that post, is like, well, he's been helping me do this illegal shit, and he thought that he was not on his main account, and he actually was. And that was the key piece of evidence that brought Boyd down.
Do you think it's that, or that he then went and tried to give the first post and forgot to
Sounds reasonable to me.
Like, I don't know, man. It sounds like you were doing, this guy still owes you. You made a bunch of money for him.
And then he did a reply all.
If anyone posts on Am I the Asshole anonymously and then goes to their main account to first comment in their defense, they are the asshole. I don't need to read the post.
Yep. Now we cut to head chef Brian. Or Chef Ryan.
He's getting an enlightened BJ right by the pool by a lady with a Buddha tattoo on her back.
I forgot to put this in my notes, and then a couple scenes later I went back, and so I've just got this like thing on the side of my notes that kind of like circles this whole opening 5 minutes that just says there was a random blowjob in here because Showtime.
That's true. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
curious how much of this had to do with the actual overall plot of Chef Ryan here. Is it Ryan or Brian? I couldn't
Ryan.
tell, but yeah.
I was surprised Chef Ryan is a going concern. I want to believe that there is a runner through this show that is just Chef Ryan is a complete fuck up.
No, okay. Being someone
He has to get
who
told
is-
to wash his hands.
Yeah, I'm like, I hope you don't have to tell that to a chef. I mean, come on. But and the wife says throw the towels out.
Yeah.
Wow. We have had very different upbringings. Like, no, dude, towels cost money, dude. You just throw them in a wash, it'll be fine. But,
They're in a $1 billion mansion in the Hamptons.
yeah. Speaking of, how do private chefs work? Does he live there? Does he
Yeah.
have a room?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then,
Probably.
okay. I think having a poolside BJ is perfectly acceptable if you live there too. Then.
You
No.
work there. You're at work.
Victor, you are not.
But your home is also your work.
No,
Come on.
No, you don't have a home.
Yes,
That's
you are an
fucked up.
employee. You are
Dude.
not a roommate.
Oh
It
my
is-
god.
It is very different. It is the same sort of thing with a nanny or an au pair. Like,
That means you never have any time off.
or
Yeah,
you have time off.
I was a camp counselor for a summer. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
That sounds
Or you have specific time
Horrible.
off and you do stuff not there because
Not at
you
the
live
house.
at somebody else's house. It is like a constant state of visiting somebody.
Yeah.
that sounds miserable. There would be dude, I don't
But
think
you
there's
also,
any
like,
amount of money that could.
Had
Well,
like
it would have to be a lot of
personal
money.
chefs and live-in house service people. They usually get paid pretty well, or you get paid nothing and they stole your passports and stuff, and like that's a whole separate issue. Like that's bad. But like a chef working for somebody like Axelrod is probably making six figures easy. Like you're the kind of person where it's like I could be the chef at a restaurant and I'm making like 500 meals a night and like constantly on edge and snorting Adderall between between lunch rush, or I make 6 meals a day. They're real fancy and I get to take my time plating them. And then the rest of the day, I'm sitting around in case somebody wants a real fancy sandwich. For, $400,000 a year, 5 weeks vacation.
Yeah.
Well, it's fortunate that Bobby needs a lunch for 12 at his mansion because he's having a war room meeting with all the big players at Axe Capital.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we let's see here.
This is where we find out that Wendy and Chuck are still fighting.
Yes.
And
Somebody
she is mad that he is using Kevin as a prop, just like Chuck's dad used Chuck as a prop.
Rightfully so. He flat out lies to her that said, "Oh, the reporter just happened upon us." No. It was clear that he set up this meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also hey, I just took down like a really big, important, like financial crimes guy. This is my moment. I'm going to take a cute picture in the park with my son.
Yeah.
Like, had Chuck been upfront about it, like, I think he would have had more of a leg to stand on than, like, this is the one thing I really like about this show is that Chuck and Wendy are both very, very smart, which I've appreciated as a juxtaposition because Wendy, that same actress, played Tara, the main female character on Sons of Anarchy,
Right.
where she is very smart, dealing with people who are very, very stupid. Everybody else in that show is dumber than she is. They're just more vicious than she is.
I cannot picture Maggie Still. I think is her name is Sill. I cannot picture her in Sons of Anarchy.
It's Maggie Siff, right?
Sif, yeah.
Yeah. She plays a pediatric surgeon who just like everything in her life gets made worse by these people. And she's very good in it. It's a for most of its run, it's a very good show.
Wendy in this scene, Chuck implies that she's been looking for an excuse to separate and then see other people. But and just from what we've seen so far, I don't think Wendy has really done anything wrong other than being complicit with whatever white collar crimes Axe Capital has been doing. But even then, she somewhat has plausible deniability. So like, I'm still on Team Wendy here. Like she's done really well for herself. I mean, she's smart enough to know there's illegal bad things happening at Axe Capital, but she's just looking the other way and trying to do good. And
she's not trying to do good. She is taking the money. Every time she tries to come up on moral superiority, it's like, no, he's taking bad people and putting them into jail, and you are taking millions of dollars a year.
She's trying to do good for herself.
She's doing good for herself and getting day traders back to day trading. Like, she is a nasty part of an evil business she does not have any moral high ground. And I think that is what irks her the most. Because she seems like the kind of person where, like, she probably got into being a psychiatrist to make people better. That is the vibe I get from her.
To help real people.
And she is not doing that, but she makes so much money not doing that she takes it out on the people around her.
Yeah.
I'm still on Team Wendy for the time being until we get proven otherwise.
We then cut over to our war room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get the meeting with all the big players, including Taylor, who has a seat at the big kids table now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still
Taylor,
in the
who
show.
went way down in my rankings this episode.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll talk about it. When that scene happened, I was watching the show. I was taking my notes. I pause. Beth walks into the room, looks at me, and goes, "You're going on a libertarian rant right now, aren't you?" You have a way that you hold your head when you're on a libertarian rant.
Oh man.
So we'll get there.
We'll get there, yeah. Then we cut over to Rhodes meeting with his dad.
Well, wait, first, we need to talk about this war room.
We need to talk about this war room.
Because, Axe Capital, anticipating this casino moving into this town, suddenly making the town worth a whole lot of money, had purchased up all the town's debt. Like, haha, and then we'll be made in the shade when this casino moves in. Mm-hmm. Now that there's no casino, well, now they're just out all this money. Mm-hmm. And
$500 million.
$500 million, which it is important to note they're not even talking like, this'll bankrupt the company. This is, oh man, we'll look like dipshits to the investors. Mm-hmm. Like, this is at kind of a kerfuffle level for a company this size. And they do talk about, like, all right, what are our options here? Like, and it basically runs down to, we destroy this town. Yeah. Or we just eat it.
It's interesting how this works, because I'm... we'll get to it more in.
We'll just say austerity like 5 times and assume everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yeah. But I do appreciate Axelrod leaves the meeting like, hey, you guys, figure out an answer that doesn't make me feel icky. Go. And just like leaves.
And nobody has touched the lunch that Chef Ryan prepared.
But it's also the sort of thing where it's
Head Chef Ryan.
Chef Ryan.
It's head chef because for that brief poolside encounter. He's not getting any anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know his life.
Yeah. I think it's funny. I think he kind of looks like Antonio Banderas' cousin almost. Like, I had to pause and look back. It's like, what? Anyway. But yeah, I wonder if nobody touched lunch because Bobby told him that he was getting a BJ by the pool. They're like, did he wash his hands?
It's just ham and mayonnaise sandwiches. No, thank you.
Oh, gross. Man, I just had hot dogs. Anyway, so yeah.
I had the worst wings in my life the other day.
Oh, where
This
from?
is completely unrelated.
Go for it.
Detroit Wing Company. I'll put you on blast on a podcast. Worst wings I've ever had in my life. I was getting advertisements for a creamy dill pickle wing sauce.
And Xhafer loves pickles.
I love pickles.
That sounds like it could be good.
I literally
it sounds like
have
it would also be horrible.
Pickle-flavored lip balm sitting on my desk right now. I've got pickle soda downstairs. I'm
Xhafer,
that
go
guy.
to bed. Go to bed. God.
Anyways.
No dinner for you.
I get this. I order the wings, and it is just pickle juice, mayonnaise, and a little dill. Disgusting.
Ugh.
Absolutely vile. Also, the wings were dry and overbreaded. Anyways. It was just like a half cup of mayonnaise on like 6 wings. It was disgusting. I was literally scraping it off.
Shame on you, Detroit Wing Company.
Anyways, Chuck and his dad talk about his future. One of the think tanks his buddy owns
Just
ran
happened.
some
Crazy
polls.
random happenstance. We did a poll.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
plausible deniability. I need to get a job at one of these fucking rich-ass think tanks so badly.
This is the same move that he pulled in the first episode, talking about, oh no, I just happened to be here. There's no. Yeah.
That is Chuck Sr.'s move, where it's just like,
100%.
no, I'm not hired by anybody. I didn't ask them to do this, so there's technically no conflict of interest.
Right.
Like he lives in the technically correct, the best kind of correct gray zone.
Yeah.
Also, Xhafer, you do need to get a job at one of those think tanks, because my career ambitions have always been Xhafer gets me a job at a think tank that he joins.
And make me head of security, please. So
I'll do what I can for you.
stand
both.
around and goon. But yeah, his dad tells him that he has big news. He quit the country club.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoop-de-fucking-do.
They're not a mixed country club, Victor.
Yes. And
Can't be associated.
He can't.
Okay, guys, I have to admit
He can't
something.
have something that might be seen as a political liability for his son.
I have to admit something.
You
I
only
don't even-
join exclusionary golf clubs.
No, I don't know what the fuck a country club is. Is it just
It's
a golf course?
It's
They
a
have-
golf course with like a nice restaurant and stuff
Bar.
attached. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all it is? And it's
all it
ma-
is.
I would not want to pay money to go to a place that's full of dudes. That is full of rich golf playing dudes. That is no. But
Like
I don't want to be
the
there.
idea behind it is, hey, women aren't allowed, so the wife can't complain that I don't bring her. You know? Oh, shucks. Ain't the 50s grand. I mean, I believe I am. I don't know if I've ever said it on pod. I believe I have, but I'm firmly on the side of all golf clubs should be, or all golf courses should be
Oh
destroyed.
yeah, no, you said that last episode, and I 100% agree.
Yeah. But, you know, I also had a friend who, like, had a golf course go up in their backyard, and, like, all of their windows kept getting destroyed by drunk golfers.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh man,
that sucks.
I hope they got settlements out of it.
No.
Fuck, dude. If I didn't, I would.
And
be
your homeowner's
shitting-
insurance goes up.
I would be shitting on that golf course every day. Like
Well,
literally.
instead, my friends and I went and ran around it, you know, as 10-year-olds, pretending we were on Star Trek away missions. So, because we were nerds.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it does remind me that now, you know, since I'm in the process of moving, I have to look and cancel a bunch of memberships that I have, and I have this made me think. I'm like, okay, well, that's his happy place. A country club full of old dudes wearing golf pants. That's where he's happy. Fine, whatever, no judgment. And it made me realize that I have to cancel my membership to Cidercade, which I pay $15 a month. Do you guys have a place like this nearby? Or?
Not with a subscription model, but you've talked about this place before.
Oh, it's so good. I love it, and it's making me sad that I didn't visit it more often. But they got a full bar of craft ciders, and 3 warehouse-size rooms full of arcade machines, from old retro classics to modern stuff.
They got
And
Golden
they're all
Axe?
free. There is a Golden Axe machine, yeah. And they're all free. You don't have to put a quarter in, nothing. You just walk up to a machine and press start. It's the best. Man, I am gonna miss that place. Sad I didn't use it more often. But yeah, if any of you guys have a Cidercade, listeners nearby, $15 a month, unlimited access. It's the best.
We now have our buffet on the beach, where Axe is drinking at the sea.
Yeah, his family's having a fully catered campfire cookout there at the beach. And then Hall once again spawns in the shadows, and he appears to give him an update.
He's like,
Just
hey, it
Grima
doesn't seem
worm
like the
tongues,
Italians
just-
did everything. And I'm like, are you sure? Because, like, it's probably the Italians. But
It's
he
probably the Italians.
he tells him, no, it's you need to go talk to Scolari, who is
The senator,
state
yeah.
senator Joe Scolari.
Yeah, he goes to meet him at the next day at the at his senator house, and this is the scene where Senator Scolari talks like a fucking Cylon.
Yes, because he keeps saying, like, hey, no, we decided on the place where it will do the most good for the most people. And this is one of those bits where I do really enjoy like this sort of thing where it's this guy is a state senator. In most places this guy he's probably one of the most powerful people there.
Mm-hmm.
He is talking to one of the richest men in America. Mm-hmm. This guy is toast. This guy is done. This guy is doomed, and he doesn't realize it yet. Like, he is so little fish compared to Axelrod that him like trying to big dog him. He's like, "You've won very small little battle. You didn't even realize like the war is happening, and I am so sad I'm not going to see like 2 episodes from now when just like in the C storyline it is just what's the fixer's name? Hall just being like, all right, and here's another way I've ruined this guy's life.
Yeah, this senator, he looks like a fucking puppet. I mean, he's just repeating the same thing over and over.
Yeah,
and
very
I'm pretty
robotic.
Sure it's because he was told, if anyone asks, this is what you say.
Yeah.
And that's all he knows. Like, you can see the hand up his ass talking for him. He's such a
Well,
puppet.
it's also the sort of thing where it's like, clearly, some people made some calls and made some decisions. But the sort of thing we can say so that nobody gets sued or this thing doesn't get, like, caught up in a bunch of court cases is the most good for the most people. And that is just how he is trained to say it. And then I loved that Axe leaves and immediately, like, just walks down a stairwell, and there's Hall just like...
There he is, yeah. He fucking spawns whenever he needs him. He's like an NPC.
Except this means that just the entire time this meeting has been happening, Hall, like, no, I cannot be outside the room. No one can know I'm here. But we drove together, and I'm in the hall. I'm in the stairwell. And I imagine, like, dozens of people have taken these stairs, and he's just standing there.
That's why his name is Hall, because that's where you meet him at, in a hall.
It's a good call out.
Yeah. Then we go over to back at Axe Capital building, where Dr. Mojo herself, Wendy, is back at her old job.
Talking to Danzig.
Talking to Danzig, yep. Apparently this is Danzig. Yep. And he's been having nightmares about Russian hackers.
Yeah. I'm guessing that you know this guy from work, Ben. Like this guy who's worried about Russian hackers. And I'm guessing also all he ever wants to talk to you about in the office is simulation theory.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he seems like the type. But...
Dude, I want to talk to you about simulation theory at some point, Xhafer.
Simulation theory is just the allegory of the cave, but with computers.
It's not the thing. It's okay. There's a video I want you to watch, and then we'll talk about it later because it's not about actual simulation. It's about theories for in the future how to make mankind survive at the end of time when the heat death of the universe happens.
We shouldn't. We should all just die.
Well, of course we're going to die, but we can make.
And we should.
There's a computer thing I want to talk to Xhafer about at some point because
I know what you're talking about. I think I've actually seen that video.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple videos about surviving the heat death of the universe because you're basically like you either upload everything into a consciousness and you make it work somehow, or alternate dimension. There's a couple things. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, specifically, what boggles my mind is that when this guy says the advantage of having nearing the heat death of the universe is the background temperature of the universe lowers, which means you can run computers at a higher rate, like overclocking them. And there's a thing called the Landauer limit that you hit. I think I'm saying that right. And that's saying that there's a limit to computing due to heat.
Yes.
Anyway, we can talk about it in depth some other time.
I'm more interested in the Landau limit, which is how many times you can watch the original Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Oh. Anyways,
you didn't know which Martin Landau movie I was going to pick.
I was not expecting that one. I actually didn't even realize he was in that one.
He's the main character.
I've never seen it. So. Oh, thank you, Ben. Never change.
Yeah, Wendy asserts that this is all connected, that the agents of chaos impacting him are the same as he is an agent of chaos to this town. And Danzig gets a little bit of a soul about this, as we learn that Taylor would be happy in Viper's Metro City Libertarian Utopia, with
Dude.
a complete failure, I might note, to understand modern monetary theory. Governments are not businesses. I'm just going to get this out here, or households. This is a dumb comparison that oversimplifies things. It's a grossly complex issue, but at the heart of it are two things. All governments operate on debt because you only raise capital after spending, not before, via taxes. And also you can print your own fucking money so you can afford whatever you want as long as you align it with a portion of, oh no, I've fallen off the rails again. Quick, everyone, make a dick or fart joke.
All I can say here right now is when it comes to Wendy talking to Danzig, Dr. Gus would never.
Yeah.
Also,
right.
guys, what happened to Dr. Gus?
Oh, the previous. Oh, right. The clap doctor.
Yeah, what happened to Dr. Gus?
He was just a temp.
Wendy walked in to the office,
Yeah.
asked for her job back, and instead of seeing like Axe talk to her or agree or negotiate, the next scene is him busting in on Dr. Gus in the middle of an appointment and firing him.
Oh, I don't even think we see that. I just think in the background of the next scene, we just see Dr. Gus walking out with a banker's box.
Yeah.
I think maybe he's still there. That he's, I just heard on another podcast that in Japanese culture, corporate Japanese culture, it's instead of firing you in these like the big white collar Japanese businesses, they
Take away your work
yes, they put
and
you
wait
in a
for
room.
you to quit in shame.
Yes,
Yeah,
because so you don't have to. Or so since firing is considered shameful or something, they basically give you a nothing job where they put you in a room with a pencil and a pad. And I'm like, guys, I have finally found a field where I can excel.
Unfortunately, they also have a role that, in some Japanese businesses that is the token loud American. I don't know.
I've heard of that. Yeah,
where it's they don't know not to talk about stuff, and so they like bring up bad ideas. It's just like, hey, no, boss, that's actually kind of dumb. Where everybody else will be like, you can't tell the boss that's dumb. Like, do you not understand the shame you've brought on yourself? It's like, why? It's a dumb idea. It's like, oh, you silly Americans.
Nice. But anyway, no, I think that Dr. Gus is still there, just in a room playing Jenga or something until they need him again. It's kind of like the same thing that Bobby does with Chef Ryan. It's like you live here and you stay here until I need you.
Yeah, the thing that made me mad, going back to Xhafer's anti-libertarian rant, which one, yes, it is, hey, you can't take Darwinism and apply it to things that aren't natural selection. That's not how towns work.
For the listeners, we've cut to a meeting back at Axe Capital where they're watching a commercial that they're workshopping.
Vetting,
Yeah. And it says that we basically saying, here's an old lady in the Midwest whose pension and retirement was invested and it went bad. And in order to make her good, we have to ruin the pension and retirement of people in this other city. It's just...
And they do, like, right out say, like, this is the start of our astroturfing campaign.
Exactly.
And I did appreciate, like, they are just being evil. Which is nice, where it's like, I don't have to feel conflicted about wanting to see these people destroyed, because I want to see these people destroyed.
And at this meeting is where Taylor apparently just got done reading an Ayn Rand novel the night before.
Yeah.
and says, well, a town is like a business, and then therefore applies the principles of corporate personhood about saying that this town as a business needs to either thrive or die. They will either meet this challenge or whatever, and we shouldn't feel sorry for them because they're getting a bailout. And I'm like, what the fuck, Taylor?
It's like, that's not how towns work.
Yeah. I'm just like, what the fuck? Taylor, come on.
Taylor, I'm thinking I understand why people hate you. You just suck. It's not because of your gender identity. It's because you're an asshole.
I think, dude, Taylor looks like a Sith apprentice. All right? Like, I'm seeing that this is the story arc here. Taylor is the Force-sensitive kid and was picked up by Emperor Bobby and is being like, yes, good, good. You know?
Let the hate flow through you.
But the thing that
capital root trickle down through you. Yes.
as urine trickling down through a stern bush, let the capitalism trickle down. No, but the thing that annoyed me about this is as soon as she goes off on her like I've taken economics 102 level screed, everyone just like closes their notebooks and leaves. I'm like, that wasn't that compelling. Like,
yeah, I felt the same way. I'm like, no, this is still fucked up, guys.
Yeah,
this is like Ben Shapiro talking about how if if climate change is real and the entire East Coast floods, that all will happen is everyone on the East Coast will just sell their houses and move. Which is an actual Ben Shapiro quote. It's like,
yeah.
Who the fuck is he going to sell his house that you're going to sell your houses to?
The fish affair.
Aquaman?
Yeah.
Merman.
Did you hear that?
I wish that was my joke.
You heard about that plane crash that Ben Shapiro was in?
No.
It's because he destroyed the left wing with facts and logic.
You had my hopes up for
I know.
I'm pretty sure I'd have gotten a push notification about that.
All right. Well, anyway,
Ben's Ben Shapiro Death Watch RSS feed would have notified him.
We then cut over to
100%.
Kate and Lonnie, where
Lonnie,
we find out
the lawyer with the epic fro.
I mean, it's a nice fro. I wouldn't call it epic.
Well, you've seen Ripe in person, so you've seen what an epic
No, but I'm
fro
like,
looks like.
For me, epic, you have to at least get to,
It's
Difficult to get through the doorway.
It's well groomed. It's still professional for
It's a professional fro.
yeah. He's got a pro fro.
It looks great.
Oh,
It looks
it is
fantastic.
on point.
Yeah.
It's not like Reggie Watts. Like, when he turns his head, it doesn't have a delay.
Yeah, so they're having lunch at the office, and apparently they've been keeping eyes on, how do they know he?
There's an opening at the USDA for the head of criminal investigations, CRIM as they call it, which is a nice promotion, puts you next in line and pays $600,000 a year.
I thought the
Which-
USDA were the steak people.
They are. I was waiting. I was waiting for that to come around. That's the United
later
States
they have
Department
mutton.
of Agriculture.
So that's why they're having mutton. But anyway, Lonnie tells Kate that Rhodes took Brian to dinner at a place called Keene. I'm like, dude, how do you know where they went to lunch at? It's like
Probably heard
everyone's-
them putting in reservations.
Man, it's like everyone's is spying on everyone else.
But Lonnie is like, I interviewed a few places. It wasn't as nice as it seemed. But, this is the sort of thing where we find out, okay, this job making $600,000 is not as much as... So they're still under the USDA, U.S. District Attorney.
That's the USDA, wow.
Yeah, the U.S. District Attorney. Different same letters, different acronym. Which again puts into highlight just how much more Wendy makes than Chuck. Whew. But then we cut over to an argument that makes me very, very mad.
The argument at the steakhouse?
Because Chuck is telling Brian, hey, you should order the mutton. And isn't it weird how we call it mutton and not sheep? And it must be because sheep are so cute. It's like, no, that is not why. When the animal is alive, we use English, and when it's the food, we use French. That's the etymology, not entomology. That's bugs.
That's butterflies. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I had a similar conversation about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, no. When
it's
when it's a cow, it's a cow.
Yeah.
When you cut it up, it's beef or boeuf, which
Yeah.
is the French because because when the French conquered England, when they're dealing with the animals, it's being served to them. They are not hurting them. That is what the English that they conquered were doing during the Norman invasion. 1066 continues to run all of our lives. So that is why it is cow and then beef. It is chicken and then poultry. That is why it is sheep and then mouton.
This is the conversation that I had a couple weeks ago with someone. We're talking about why is it a cow, and then when you eat it, it's beef. But across the street from me, like, there's Chicken Express and there's Dave's Hot Chicken and there's a chicken wing place, but it's not Poultry Express. It's not Dave's Hot Poultry. Like, how is chicken just chicken? Chicken,
well, when you go to
escaped.
the
Marketing.
grocery store, it's in the poultry section.
That is true, but it is still, it's not as
Marketing.
ubiquitous as the other animals,
Yeah. The chicken lobby.
the chicken lobby. Big
Blame
chicken.
Don Draper, only for chicken.
Hey, there's big box in the chicken industry.
They have a
And we're
conversation
done. We
about-
had a good podcast. Let's wrap it up and never talk again.
Every time you've threatened to never talk again to me,
We've still talked again.
We can't quit you, Ben. So, but they talk about how something was tried with kangaroo meat.
I've eaten kangaroo. It's good.
Have you?
I've also eaten kangaroo.
Oh my God!
It was a bit jumpy.
Good night, everybody. Where do you get kangaroo meat at?
So when we were in college, about 15 miles down one of the highways, there was an exotic meats place. And so I would occasionally go down. I think I actually had kangaroo jerky with you once, Ben.
That was in Dundee.
That was in Dundee by Cabela's, yeah.
Yeah.
So near a gun store, we got weird jerky.
It is more than just a gun store. It is a outdoor emporium. The thing
Yeah.
has a mountain inside of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a place that prided itself on any kind of jerky you could imagine. Like, there was gator jerky and iguana jerky, and I was like, kangaroo? I've had alligator, but like, that's because you can get alligator in places in America. Like,
Yeah.
kangaroo,
alligator.
that's unique. And so we got some kangaroo jerky, and it was jerky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, when you dry stuff out and season the shit out of it,
It all stays
things
the same.
kind of taste the same.
I was gonna say, Yum Yum. Can you, Yum Yum Pod? Can you chime in on the Discord? Let us know. Can you get kangaroo at your local supermarket?
I know there have
Down
been
there?
several initiatives in Australia to try and get people to eat kangaroos because they're kind of just everywhere, and it's like a problem.
Yeah, I remember reading something about this. Gosh, where was it that something similar was tried here in the States with bear meat? And the article that I was reading said, "Why are we not capitalizing on bear meat?" And I'm like, "Duh, cows are easier to catch."
I know we also try to do the same thing with lionfish because they're invasive.
Oh right, I heard about.
Although I will say, every time I go and try to sell bear meat, people are always biting.
Bear Force 1. Anyway, apparently, Bobby had a meeting with Brian at a pizza place late at night.
Yes,
And I'm wondering if this is the same pizza shop from the
It looked like it.
pilot. Yeah.
It does.
and it was set up by his old mentor Oren.
The Russian guy?
No,
The
the guy
barbershop?
the guy from the barbershop. I
The
did.
professor.
Yeah.
He speaks Russian a couple of times because I noticed it said, speaking Russian on the
Oh, okay.
subtitles. So I just, he set up a meeting with him for some reason. And Rhodes caught wind of it. He's like,
Yeah.
you're meeting for pizza late at night with my nemesis.
But it's also Rhodes did this whole that Chuck is doing stuff he shouldn't be, and doesn't that make him just as bad as me? And if you let him do it, it makes you as bad as him, which makes you as bad as me. And it's like, yes, but the transitive property still makes you an asshole. And we're not doing crimes that destroy lives.
Yeah, this is three assholes arguing about who is the lesser of the assholes.
This is the whole, but if you kill me, then the number of murderers is the same. It's like, yeah, but then I'm done at killing after you. You'll kill more people.
Yeah. In the words of one of my associates in the Star Trek meme industry, Jenna Weisford once said, as a retort to someone who says, if you murder a murderer, then it's the same amount of murderers in the world.
Not if you kill two.
Yep. She says, well, then kill two.
Do you know how much shorter Deep Space Nine would have been if the first time Gul Dukat and Kai Wynn show up on Deep Space Nine, they were like, hey,
Yeah,
Laura Roslin special time.
Awesome. So after this uncomfortable mutton conversation at the steakhouse, and this annoyed waitress who was like, are you two planning to order?
I do appreciate that they come to a point where Brian is just like, all right, so I don't get the job that I've like worked really hard for and earned. Chuck is like, no, I'm just going to leave it open for a while until we're cool again. Like, it's not even like I'm giving it to the other guy. It's like, hey, like, yes, you are still the person deserving of this job, but I have to know I can trust you as being like the head of criminal investigations.
I think it's fucked up they didn't give it to Lonnie. He would rather just leave it vacant as opposed to give it to somebody else.
But I will say,
fucked up.
This whole scene, as much as like, as part of this is like, hey, this is what is it? How did you phrase this, Xhafer? Entourage for finance bros.
Yeah.
This did just make me want to go to a chop house so bad. Like, there have been a handful of times where I've gotten an $80 steak, and this just made me want an $80 steak.
Dude, so I went and treated myself for Veterans Day. Steak. There's a 5-star steakhouse here called Silver Fox, and I went and I got myself a really expensive steak because they had I saw an ad somewhere saying that for Veterans Day they're offering $30 off for any plate for veterans. I'm like, holy shit, that's amazing. Well, then I get there, and then the lowest price thing on the menu is like $80. So
yeah,
I'm like, oh. But I got the steak, and it was so cool. The plating was amazing. They had a little pile of Himalayan salt that was covered in bourbon and lit on fire, and they bring it to you there, and it was amazing. But the steak was oversalted, and I ate it anyway because it was expensive, and I didn't want to be that guy who sends stuff back. But then I realized this is the kind of place where if you're paying this much money for something, it needs to be
best steak I ever had was in Vegas at Star Trek Las Vegas 2 years ago. I went to Iron Chef Morimoto's restaurant.
No way! I love that guy. He was my favorite Iron Chef.
Yeah, we had a couple of us went, and we got a bunch of sushi and a bunch of random stuff, but I got a steak, and it was fucking fantastic.
How much was the bill?
A lot. It's the most expensive meal per person I've ever paid for easily.
Was it okay? Was it over $100 per person?
Double.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm the last time I got a really nice steak, I went to a place called the Rough Rider in Phoenix, which is no, it is a Theodore Roosevelt themed speakeasy.
Oh, okay.
And like when I found out there's a Theodore Roosevelt themed speakeasy, I was like, I gotta go to this place. And then the first time I went to Phoenix, it was like, it's 120 degrees out, and it's a 20-minute walk, and I'm like, I'll catch you next time. So when I went back to Phoenix, I went, and it was the kind of place where I saved, like, I didn't eat that day, so I could save my per diem, and my per diem did not cover my steak, let alone my 2 very nice mixed drinks.
Ooh.
And it's the kind of place where it's like, here's the menu, there are 8 things on it, 2 of them are different cuts of steak, and so it's like, it's not a like Texas Roadhouse or a Lone Star where it's like, you've got a whole bunch of options. It's like, no, you get the steak or the steak, and it was amazing. Nice. But it's like, we do one thing real well, and it's $95.
Oh man, I hope I can. Yeah, Hope I can try Silver Fox again when before I move. I could use a good steak. All the steak talk. Okay. So yeah. Brian orders the mutton.
Yep. And then Wendy tries to talk to Axe, like, hey, I know about this thing. Don't fuck up this town. And it appears that part of Wendy coming back is she's like, I don't therapize you anymore. That is not part of it anymore. Like, you do not get to use me to make yourself reason into things you've already decided to do. And then Brian goes over to Oren, who's just like, hey, you fucked up my life, surprising me with Axe.
He goes to visit him at the barbershop again, late at night. Does this guy just live at the barbershop?
It kind of feels like it.
Yeah. Again, he feels like you're playing Fallout or Skyrim or something. It's this one NPC that is only in this one spot that you go visit.
But this is also the sort of thing, like, rich people, they get, like, have a standing haircut appointment. Like, this guy is bald, and I'm guessing, like, he gets his horseshoe shaved, like, every Thursday at 6.
It looked like he was getting his nails filed when Brian walked in. Which I guess is a thing rich men do. But yeah, he again, Russian Oren once again says Bobby wants Brian to come work for him because he sees talent in him, and I'm wondering if that's really true or if it's just because Bobby wants to give a big fuck you to Jim Rhodes by, poaching his number one guy,
Chuck.
Why do I keep thinking... I wrote his name down as Jim, this entire thing. Yeah.
But, yeah,
So,
it's probably both.
Yeah. Back at Axe Capital, Wendy is working late and sees what I'm guessing is some interns making out on the sidewalk.
And then she calls up Craig.
Yeah. Meanwhile, at Rhodes' dad's house, his father offers him some waffles for dinner.
And, this is funny.
And Chuck turns him down. I'm like, Chuck, dude, you never turn down waffles, especially free waffles.
They're
the hell is wrong with you, man?
They're Eggos.
He's not here for it.
Dude, it doesn't matter what you're there for. If there's waffles, you eat them.
An Eggo isn't a waffle.
Look, we've had very different upbringings, okay? So if you gave me some Eggos right now, even though I'm full right now, I would never turn down waffles.
But I do appreciate Chuck Sr., like, destroys Chuck's view of his mom, where he's just like,
oh, yeah.
You've had these before. He's like, nah, these are Eggos. And he's like, that's what Mom gave you. What? No. He's like, no, she just heated them up on the stove. I used the microwave. Whatever. It's still an Eggo. And
It's
so
like
I'm going to say, last time on, Mama Rhodes is dead. She has passed away. And he is now no longer worried about, hey, I have to uphold this, like, this illusion you have of your mom. She's gone. We can now laugh about this like a, hey, Mama Rhodes, she just gave you Eggos, man. Like
the Eggo secret.
Yeah.
It's man, I would say that should
That's
die
the
with
vibe.
her. You know, you take that secret to the grave. Like, don't disparage the the memory of your mother's waffles.
I think you're right, Ben. I didn't clock it, but now that we're talking about it, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
but then
also,
Wendy has her tryst.
Well, hold on 1 second.
Well, hold on. Yeah, because Chuck learns he needs Blackjack Foley's blessing.
I wrote down Blackjack Savage.
I hope this is Mick Foley in this role so very, very badly.
I did, every time they did say Blackjack Foley, I'm just like, he sounds like he runs a wrestling territory.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then Wendy is all dressed up in her hotel room here. As
She gets a
Craig
booty call.
comes into the office.
And I thought we had seen this guy before, but apparently not.
Was he the guy who was kissing the intern out front?
No.
I thought. No, I don't know. All white guys look the same.
But yeah, the next morning, booty call guy starts getting clingy.
He caught feelings.
He caught
Rookie
Fifi's
mistake,
real
bro.
quick.
No, dude. If you want Wendy to give you a follow-up booty call, you keep your mouth shut, dude. Rookie mistake.
Although it's weird because I always thought Wendy liked her men tied down.
And that's the episode, because we're not going to top that joke.
But then
right.
this is mean because Chuck comes to pick up the kids for summer camp, and he saw the babysitter leaving. He's like, "Why was the babysitter just leaving?" And she's like, "I don't know. Couldn't have been anything." It's like,
and
Wendy,
she's still in her dress, her booty call dress, with her hair all.
But it's also
unkempt.
She knew, hey, you can take the first shower. I'm in no rush to be anywhere. The babysitter's not leaving until right before I know Chuck is showing up. Like, she is playing nasty mind games to let him know, hey, we opened this up, and I'm already hitting that.
Mm-hmm. There's a hilarious article from The Onion that says, help, I got my wife to agree to an open marriage, and it turns out she's significantly more attractive than I am. Oh, man. Yep, another rookie mistake. So anyway,
but then,
poor Chuck, he actually does the right thing. He just tells her he just wants her to be happy.
And he reminisces over the fact that, hey, I tried to go back to a restaurant we used to go to when we were dating, and it's been closed for 4 years.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just real quick, I want to know, guys, what restaurant do you miss the most?
Oh, dude, right now, just because it's fresh in my, it still hurts. There was a place called Kintaro Ramen that was close by. Oh, it was so good, man. You go in there, they had an iPad that you place your order on. It took a long time. If I waited till I was hungry, I'd be in a lot of pain by the time I got there because it took a long time for them to make it. But they had so many good ramens that one was my favorite was the Dracula's Bane, had a shitload of garlic and then fried garlic on top.
That sounds fun.
I would post up there at the bar, and they had this awesome painting of that famous Japanese painting of the tidal wave.
Oh, you mean this one?
You've got it. Yeah, that one. They
I've
had
got it
that
in Lego on my wall.
Oh, that's beautiful. They had that, but with Godzilla coming up from the tidal wave. And they had a Asahi beer on draft. And damn, dude,
All right, what about
I
you,
don't know where it
Xhafer?
closed down. Yeah, so good.
I'm
not done reminiscing, but no, I'm just kidding.
I got a couple. Because it's closed or because I can't get there easily?
Closed. Like, can't ever go back.
Okay. Like, there was a place in Sterling Heights that was an Italian place called Tiramisu that was really fucking good for a very long time. But I feel like my level of Italian cooking is pretty high compared to other cuisines. So, and there's other substitutes. So like that's like the nostalgia option. But for the like quality of food option, I'm gonna say Boogie Woogie Chris's Barbecue, which was a place I got to eat at like 4 times and was easily the best barbecue in the state of Michigan.
Really?
Oh, just fucking fantastic!
I love learning the differences between barbecue in different regions.
This was a Kansas City barbecue guy who grew up in Kansas City that moved out here.
So did they have like a brown sugar?
Like the thick bark, it was big crusty on the bird ends and stuff.
Although there is Michigan
good.
barbecue.
There is Michigan barbecue, and it's okay.
Yeah.
There's like an apple-based barbecue sauce that's kind of a Michigan thing that's pretty tasty. I've seen some cherry ones too.
Yeah. It's
That are pretty
fruit.
good. Yeah,
Apple or
it's
cherry.
fruity. Yeah,
That's
you
Michigan barbecue.
use apple wood to smoke, or you use cherry wood to smoke, which gives it a unique flavor as well. But
that's what we have
most
here
of
in
the
Michigan.
big places don't bother with it. You got to go to like a small barbecue place to get that stuff usually, and
man,
probably one up north.
If it was logistically feasible somehow, I would love to bring you guys some South Texas, Lockhart, Texas brisket, because It's the best thing that came out of the hometown that I grew up in. It's just absolutely.
Besides
phenomenal. I'm okay. I'm not as good as the brisket.
Takes
We
a big
haven't
man
cooked
to
you
admit
yet.
the
We can't
brisket's
say
better where he grew up.
I'm just gonna go with just for nostalgia's sake. I'm gonna say it's funny because it's a chain place, but La Senorita's up in Mount Pleasant just because it's the first place I had dinner with my wife.
Oh yeah, Laws was good. Little Chef
It was
has a special place in
an
my heart,
absolutely-
and they've been torn down for forever.
Yeah, it was an absolutely middle of the road chain Mexican place. Where it's like, yes, you can get our big as your head burrito or a chimichanga, and it's like it was absolutely fine. The perfect place to take a first date in college when you both have $7.
That's adorable. Oh, sweet.
But then we find out that Danzig is quit.
Yeah. Axe is pissed at Wendy about this, but she stands her ground.
Yeah, he barges in on the therapy session.
Yeah, and she's just like, dude, what the fuck? I have a hard enough time like convincing people like you're not listening. You can't just walk in here.
I'm going to say last time on, because this is the second time that reference was made, Axe Capital is actually bugged.
Oh, I'm probably. Then
Chuck has
Chuck is
lunch
talking to
with
a
a
judge.
judge.
Oh, the duck.
Yeah, trying to secure this clerk job
They're having
for
Peking
Jack
duck.
Foley's daughter. Yeah.
And I did appreciate this judge who's like, I recognize the last name. If she was any good, she'd already have a job. And then he drops that he clerked for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And both when it comes to Ruth Bader Ginsburg and ordering more duck, doesn't know when to stop.
You're not wrong.
I'm not.
Duh.
Yeah. But he's like, hey, I will not take this girl, but you should totally run for office. You're totally built for it. Like,
Yeah.
I'd probably vote for you. I will not give this girl a job. She must suck if she can't get a clerkship with, it's like seeing, last name Adams or last name Washington and being like, I don't know about giving them a job.
Yeah, and Chuck reminds him that he got his job through the exact same means, and he's
like, yes,
"Fuck
and
you."
then I've pulled up the ladder behind me because now that I'm a judge, I can have principles.
Yeah, that's god, the hypocrisy in this that is happening in the midst of this Peking duck is just.
Although I do appreciate him being like, hey, I'm a judge now. I can actually be free to, like, exercise some convictions instead of having to live in this awful cesspit of recriminations and back scratching. So, like, hey, at least there's that. But then we have Axe visiting Boyd in the clink, where Boyd has a quote that I am sure Xhafer loved, that everyone is a libertarian until it's their town that needs a government bailout.
Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently this is a minimum security facility he's in because he's allowed to sign out to go look for a job during the day.
Yep.
And I think good Boyd, you get to have a taste of what it's like for real people. And also we get our first instance of violence that we've seen in this show where a fight breaks out in the hallway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unrelated.
Yeah, completely unrelated.
Yeah, this is where Axe learns that Jack Foley is responsible, and so he's asking Boyd questions about Jack Foley.
So now
these
they are
two worlds
both
are
in Foley's orbit.
collision course here.
Fucking Black Jack Foley. Have we? I don't think we've seen this person yet.
We have not.
He was mentioned in the first episode, I want to say, wasn't he?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I'll have to go back and watch it again because I'm pretty sure one of the interns, I think actually Kate Sacker, used to work for Black Jack Foley. I'm pretty sure that was said in the first. I don't know. I might be hallucinating. But anyway.
Then Bruno shows up at Axe's house and is just like, hey, please don't destroy this town. Like, come on, man. And he's just there in his Chevy next to the Ferrari and the Lambo. He's just like, Hey, man, I'm just here in my little Italian hat. Just one man asking another man not to ruin a town.
Mm-hmm. And he goes upstairs to his wife, who is just looking at clothes in her walk-in closet that's bigger than my fucking bedroom, and just looking at dresses in her heels and her underwear, which is, I assume, that's just what rich white women do. That they just
It's just rich women. It's
yeah, and she's just looking at clothes. Okay, and she talks Bobby into destroying the town.
yes.
He asks for her advice, and she's like, "Oh, you're asking my advice?" And he's like, "Yes, I am asking your advice."
And he's like, either we lose 500 million or we destroy a town and make 100 million. And she's like, did anyone ever help us? And it's like, well, a lot of people did. Like, there was that pizza guy who let Axe eat for free. And all of these people in that town that, that helped keep you guys afloat. And it's like, nah, they never helped me. I did this all bootstrap style.
See, this is why I understand now. This is why the trend of paying it forward at the Starbucks drive-thru happened. It's for people like this. It's like no one ever paid for your Starbucks order.
But she's like, yeah, we destroy the town, and then we move in, and we open $30 million worth of charter schools, and they'll have a better life than anything we ever had. And it's like, you don't know anything about charter schools.
I've never heard a good thing about charter schools from anyone on either side of the spectrum.
I've heard two good things about charter schools, and I trust one of them.
Yeah. And so
Axe
Bobby
leaves and says, hey, seize everything.
Yeah.
he goes to pick up Chinese food in his fucking Ferrari, and jumps on the phone.
Fuck them to credits.
Yeah, like your car where you haven't changed your oil in 10,000 miles. Seize everything.
All
like
right,
Beth's
well,
Prius.
that gets its oil changed. Okay. I know because I do it.
So that's the only thing that's working in that car.
It's running fine right now, thank you.
Do you still have to open it with a stick?
That was just the hood, and I think I've got that pit aligned now.
Okay.
It seems to be fine.
For a while, you had to use a stick to open the car.
Oh yeah, no, I had
just the hood.
I had a car that required a stick at one point as well. So yeah,
we did use a fetter to unlock it once, but that was just because the keys were locked inside.
I also had a friend where you had to wedge the driver's side door closed, or else when you broke to stop, the driver's side door would just swing open.
Oh, I had a friend in college who one of her back doors would not latch, and so there was just a rope tying it to the other door in the back seat so that way it didn't swing open randomly. Anyways.
I miss my 280ZX. Actually, no, I don't. It was a beautiful car. 81 280ZX. Engine caught fire, literally.
I've had that happen.
Yeah.
It sucks.
While I was driving. Anyway,
all right.
Roll them bones.
Roll them bones. That's a 9.
All right. What are we doing? What's where are we going?
We're
Is this season
going
3?
to season 3, episode 5. Flaw in the Death Star.
What? Oh,
the name
so
of this
close.
episode.
So close. Last episode, I predicted a Star Trek reference.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Chuck trades favors with a co-conspirator. Axe and Chuck fight for the loyalty of the same witness. Connerty gets closer to the truth. Axe sends Taylor down to Silicon Valley to explore new business opportunities. Dollar Bill plays a big short position on a pharmaceutical company, but not everyone at Axe Capital approves.
Where are you getting your description from?
The internet.
Oh, that narrows it down.
The TVDB.com? Are you familiar?
TVD. Oh, I'm using IMDb. And
okay, I'm using TVDB.
I didn't know there was a TVDB.
TVDB. TVDB.
TVDB is not like IMDb. It's very specialized.
My IMDb description is 2 sentences. Axe and Chuck fight for the loyalty of the same witness. Taylor travels to Silicon Valley. Wow, really phoning it in there, IMDb. I am strongly considering making a switch to TVDB because it's, if nothing else, because it's more fun to say.
TVDB. It's the TVDB. But yeah.
All right. So what are our predictions, gentlemen?
Lincoln, what are you doing up there?
Guessing. I guess no one's coming.
I have seen into the future.
You ruined the prophecy.
Daytime prediction, easy win. We have not heard the last of Jack Foley. Now, I know we're going forward a season, so this storyline might be well over by then, but I think we're going to hear the name. But I will say we will never see Jack Foley as a physical person.
That's a good one. Okay.
That's
We will never see just us or in the show.
We will never see.
Okay.
The three of us will never see. That's my evening. Is the three of us will never see Jack Foley.
So okay,
I'm going to say so. He's
your
so
daytime
is he continues. He is still a thing, but we will never see him.
Okay.
Is my evening. So we'll hear his name. My primetime prediction: Wendy and Axe fuck.
Oh yeah, that was my bonus point. I think
Was it?
As for one of them, I was going to say something about Wendy having an affair. Oh, which I think I got a point for that this episode. And
Does it count as an affair?
I'd say it counts.
It's extramarital, but
it is.
It's definitely above the board. They gave each other permission.
Did they though?
Yeah,
There was
Discord
it was
Discord
not,
listeners.
It was not like it wasn't enthusiastic, but it wasn't understanding.
All right, we'll revisit this later. I'm ready to go next.
All right, go for it.
Daytime prediction. I got another easy one. Once again, we will see Bobby ignore Wendy's advice at least once more.
yeah, gimme point. Take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, paying her a 7-figure salary just so he can ignore her advice.
I do appreciate when she's just like, "Buy me out. I don't give a fuck."
Hell yeah. Evening prediction. We're going to see Bobby living in a slum. Or his shit's going to go bad for him. He's going to be living by himself in a slum. In parentheses, a slum by his standards. So he's going to get he's going to have to downsize at some point. And primetime prediction, Bobby grows a beard.
Okay. Let me go. My daytime prediction: this whole fucking over a town comes back to bite Bobby in the ass.
I hope so.
This comes back to haunt him. My evening is Chuck destroys Craig. He finds a way to just rain hellfire down on this guy.
Shit, which one was Craig?
Craig is the guy who was sleeping with Wendy.
Oh, okay. Shit, dude, I don't think they even know about each other.
Right now they don't.
Okay.
Stuff is going to progress, and like Chuck's gonna be like, "Hey, Wendy, it's fine. I'm not mad at you, Craig. I know everyone you've ever associated with." And I'm like, the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, that's gonna look like one of those poppets in comparison.
My face is on that asteroid.
Yeah. And then I'm going to say that Chuck decides to run for office and loses.
Ooh, poor Chuck.
And I'm going to go with my bonus point, call it, for New York governor.
Ah.
All right.
It seems like, that seems like where he's going next, I would say. And speaking of going places next, there's only one place to go, and that is to go say thank you.
Yeah,
Xhafer,
let's
why
say
don't you
thank
start
you. Yeah. Hey, Ripe. Fucking thank you so much. Thank you for letting us use Goon Squad. Thank you for being cool dudes. And thank you for continuing to put out kick-ass music and touring the country right now. We appreciate all of this at this podcast. Thank you so much.
And thank you to you, the listener. If you enjoy our podcast, please leave us a review. I just checked. We currently have a 5-star rating total because everyone has left us a 5-star review. And if you, listener, leave us a 5-star review as well, we'll give you a shout out here on the show. And if you don't like our podcast, well, just keep that shit to yourself.
And we'll see you next time on Last Time On.
All the good stuff that I show you.